can tell you a million ways in which rejection shows up in my everyday life because it's all the time everywhere. But the sensitivity part, I think we've all done a lot of work on that. I think, the first thing I have to distinguish is how do I distinguish between just what's the sensitivity bit versus just what's processing the rejection. But I can tell you that rejection shows up a lot in the little mini rejections of getting a not interested as soon as you message someone, or when you send them photos and they just block you and their profile disappears. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That feels really nice. Thanks. That's like on the smaller side. And then on the bigger side, when you actually do genuinely like somebody and you have a bit of a connection with them and you want to take things forward and they just don't see you in that way. And then that's something that's I'm currently dealing with right now, even. So I should kind of, and I know this person listens to the podcast. So yeah, it's like I want a relationship ultimately is what I'm looking for. And it's so rare for me to find someone that for me hits those buttons and I feel that way with. And then when I do find that, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's this amazing connection that I have. And you want the other person to see you in the same way, and then they don't. And that feels like a gut punch. And so I don't know if that's necessarily like rejection sensitivity, it's rejection. And I think there's a lot of pain and a lot of hurt that goes with that. And I think that's perfectly okay. At least that's it's one of the ways that I cope with it is to say it's okay to feel this way. But I will say, the automatic response in all of these situations of rejection is a very dramatic response for me, which is always something's wrong with me. Like it's me.
Mm.
Like I'm wrong. So regardless of whether it's just the guy who just, not interested, like someone I don't know says not interested, or something deeper like this, it's my automatic response is to take it very personally. Something I did, something I said, something I don't look the right way, I don't do the right thing, I'm not the right age, I'm not the right blah 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 blah. I'm too old, I'm not hot, like whatever. Just something is wrong with me. And that part can, if I'm not aware, if I'm not treating myself kindly with compassion and going through the tools and processes I actually know how to use. But if I don't do that, then I get into that rejection sensitivity bit where it takes over in a way that is what I would say more than the appropriate amount of processing and pain and whatever. Because rejection is painful. So to me, in my mind, the way I said is okay, I'm going to give myself time to feel it and process it, which we've talked about in previous episodes. But at the same time, not let it take over to the point where, I use it to like trigger all of my shame stories, which is exactly what happens on automatic mode.